Lisa, do you want to give us an intro?
Do I want to give you an intro? Do I want to? That's one question. Will I? That's another question.
Alrighty.
Oh, God. You do this every time, huh?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back to... We can't just say welcome back to the podcast and just go. No, Lisa has to...
No, I have to do the whole...
Stream of consciousness.
Listen, it's called a bit, and...
Is it?
Yes.
I don't think ADHD is a bit.
Wow. Sniped. Actually...
Immediately.
No scope.
No, actually, I'm not doing this interview. I'm citing damages. You're gonna hear from my lawyer. Anyways. Hi, hello. It's us. It's Oops All Dragons. It's your
Welcome
favorite,
back.
It's your favorite nerdy podcast about D&D where we don't play D&D. Well, actually, now it's not about that at all. It's about tabletop games and also nerdy things in general and talking to people who are nerds and who do nerdy things. And yeah, I'm Lisa.
I'm Varun.
And we've got a guest episode today.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm part of a podcast called Roll Gay Roleplay, or RGRP. And I'm also an old friend of Varun.
Yeah. It was a little surprising to hear that, just sending out feelers like, hey, folks I haven't talked to in a little while. Oh, you have a podcast too? Guess what?
Yeah, listen, it's what you do, all right?
It's just
when you have
networking.
when you have a lot of thoughts and you just gotta like put them somewhere, and you start a podcast. All millennials
also
know how to do is start podcast, eat hot chip, and lie.
I'm a very Caucasian 30-year-old, so I either had to get very into drinking IPAs or start a podcast.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's the law.
Yeah, your options were limited there.
Right.
It's that or get into ayahuasca.
I'm a white man. My opinions need to be heard.
Y'all might hear me either mute or cough slightly. I'm getting over a flu. I'm pretty much like not sick anymore, but the cough has just stuck with me. So, sickness.
Yeah, it's still January. It's still that like, beginning of the year. You guys are gonna hear those like months from now probably, but like
a month.
Everybody, listen, that for me a month from now was like a year from now. Okay, like it's just,
who knows where I'm gonna be?
Who knows? But yeah, yeah, the illness is still going around. But we're all remote, so it's fine.
Yeah,
we're not breathing in each other's faces as we have in the past once.
That was pretty fun though. But yeah, so before we get into the RPG talk, let's do our normal go around the table. Lisa, what have you been up to?
Yeah, our little catch up, because again, I must iterate to people like this is kind of the only time we actually talk to each other. That's kind of fucked up because we are actually friends.
Get off the podcast. I gotta go count my money.
One. All right, I'm done. I have not been doing anything. I started a new job, and that's pretty much it. Like, we're back to as it was, the natural state of things where I don't do anything, I don't watch anything.
You just work?
I just work. Like, the most exciting thing that's happened in my life recently is that I brought my cat over from Florida.
Oh yeah, that was a trip, right?
Yeah, it was a very last minute decision, and he seems fine. Because
you had to go from South Florida to Orlando,
yeah,
and then from Orlando get the cat, load him up, and then take him to LA from there. And you have to do that all in like a day.
Basically, yeah, I had like 4 days to sort of coordinate that towards the end of like my like winter vacation in Florida. Because originally I was supposed to fly back from Miami, but then because of this, I got my flight switched to leave from Orlando. My flight was leaving at like 6 o'clock in the morning, so I had to like go up there. Yeah, to go up there the night before.
Drive.
Yep.
Yeah, I went up there the night before, spent the night at my friend's house, because it was my friends that were taking care of my cat. Long story. Don't want to get into it. But yeah, they were like rehabbing him for a while, and then basically from their place just
rehabbing. Your cat's got a drinking problem.
It's pills actually. No. Hey.
Were they per prescription?
Stop! It's so good.
I like this guy.
Oh, man.
I miss you, Brandon.
I'll be here all episode.
Actually, I'm quitting the podcast. Brandon, you can take on the mantle. I've been defeated, really. No,
You're my co-host now.
Yeah, this is your podcast now.
Rune, you're right. I didn't think she'd give up so easily.
Oh man, listen, I gotta concede. I gotta acknowledge, the power where it is. Yeah, that's kind of it. Is now I'm working at a place that is very dangerous for me because, as we know, I also like sew and make clothes and stuff, and I'm working at a place that's it's really hard to not spend all of my money at the establishment in which I work.
You work at a fabric place, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you're like, all the good stuff, it's right there.
And then like all of my coworkers are also like people who make clothes. Like some of them are literally like on the side, like designing and like making like gowns and shit. And it's crazy. And they're like whenever it's slow and there's nobody in there and we're all random fabric and showing it to each other and going, and what about this as a caftan but like a and then like it gets out of hand really quick.
So you guys are just like,
I've had very good self-control so far. I've been there 2 weeks and I've only bought 3 like
$100 worth of.
I was gonna say, that's like your one paycheck.
No. I bought like 3 different fabrics and I got like 3 yards each. I don't know, like that's like so.
How much did it cost though? Because you told me a yard of some of this stuff can be really expensive.
Well, I didn't get anything like crazy, like beading or whatever. Like, because there is some fabric in there that's like $800 a yard, but that's like beading. That's like stuff that's hand beaded and embroidered and has like a bunch of fancy shit. That's like, the kind of stuff that they'll use for like gowns for like red carpet and shit. But I stick with the cheap shit. I stick with the $12, $14.
Yeah, the plastic wrap that was around the fabric.
The box it came in.
Honestly, the plastic wrap is honestly probably more expensive than I can afford.
So you and your coworkers are just like competing to just be like, okay, who can make the craziest thing? Who can make the best thing fantasy-wise?
I am not
fantasizing.
I'm not even competing. I'm just letting them go and I'm observing. It's fun. I like it. It's a weird sort of vacation from production work. I am eventually going to go back to working in production, but like I need to not work 60 hours a week.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. It was a good opportunity, but like also just.
Yeah. One day I'll write my memoirs. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But how about you? What have you been doing? So I'm sure you've been doing actually like, pertinent stuff. Yeah.
I've been painting a bunch of miniatures from my Tiny Epic Dungeon set. I've got 5 of them done so far. They're looking...
Which ones?
Alright. I already had my boy Grakul, the half-orc barbarian done. And I had the magic dude, tiefling kind of guy done. And then I did the rogue, I did your bard, and I did Sir Gamelin. All the ones, yeah, well, one of them required actual flesh color paint, which I don't have a lot of right now, and I kind of messed up. So I'm holding off on doing a lot of the other ones until I get some proper, like, flesh tones to use. Because the paint I have now is a lot of very vibrant, colors, but not flesh colors. So, but other than that, I've been working through my shame pile of games that I got on discount and never played. So I had a bunch last time. I beat Ori and the Blind Forest since then. Very good game. And then I started Rogue Legacy. I definitely haven't beaten that one yet. I just took a break from that one. That's a pretty random game. But then I also did the sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is very different from the first game. They're both similar in that they're like platformers, but the first Ori game, while very pretty, it like didn't hold your hand so much through a lot of the stuff. Versus now, the second game is a lot more traditional platforming game type of thing. It's still good. It's just a little different tone. Little less artsy in the sequel. And then, what else? Keeping Up with Trash Taste podcasts. I like those guys. And then, game. I actually ran some D&D last night for a bunch of DMs who never get to play. Some new folks
Charity
that I've met doing God's work. Yeah. And then one player who'd never played. Organizing another group with Rose, because she's like,
Wait,
hey.
I'm sorry. A whole group of only DMs and then one person who's never played the game ever.
Correct.
What a wild mix of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then our friend Rose, who was on previously, she got the itch, and she's like, I want to get back into D&D. It's like, all right. So she wants to get back in, and then Seth, who you know, is like, yo, I want to play. So I got him, and then some other folks who've never played, who I know. So that's the group. And then our group is playing later tonight, Lisa.
Finally.
So I'm not getting into the details of the guts of the RPG, but like actually like running shit. Yeah, I've been doing that.
Amazing.
Brandon.
One day I'll play D&D again.
one night tonight.
Later. I mean, you know what I mean.
This afternoon for you. But Brandon.
What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, other than RPG stuff. What have you been?
There's a lot to catch up. I mean, I haven't seen you in probably
not in
years.
Life, just like recently, man.
Just working. I'm an architect, so like just doing a lot of apartment buildings around the Central Florida area, and listening to all these various D&D podcasts because there's 100,000 of them. And
So
getting
much
together with
content.
my queer friends whenever I can to play as much as possible. You know how that is. I'm sure you guys... I don't know how often your group that's playing tonight gets together, but...
Oh!
This is... I mean, we're trying to keep the momentum. We played over like Christmas break, and that's the first time we played in a while.
Months.
And before that, like a year. So we're averaging like once a month at this point. If we can do that, that would be great. If we could keep that cadence, that would be beautiful.
Between D&D games and like legacy style board games, God, you can never... If you can get the same group consistently, you are blessed.
Oh yeah, our group is consistent. It's the same group. Been going pretty much for like a year. It's just schedules. Dear God. Yeah. You'll hear us, if you listen to our other episodes, you'll hear, yeah, we've had some scheduling conflicts.
Again, my favorite joke that I saw about the what is it, Honor Among Thieves
the movie
is that like the release date got pushed back, and I'm like, yes,
this is true D&D.
Yeah, that was my favorite joke I saw on Twitter. Was like, that's the most accurate to D&D thing that they could have done, is have scheduling issues.
Yep,
for real. There was also some talk from reviewers about like, it's a little hectic, or it goes a little away from the plot for Raleigh. That makes sense. Honestly,
They spend like 10 minutes in a town in the shop, just like shopping. What?
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that it's going to be like a 2.5 hour movie and like 45 minutes of it is a shopping sequence.
Oh my god. The whole time they're saying, wait, does that hit? Hang on.
Did that?
What's my spell save DC? How do you calculate that?
Oh god. People who do D&D podcasts and don't know how D&D works.
Or it's there's gotta
all
be a
of
scene
Critical
where,
Role.
like, where somebody hits the bad guy and then like the battle continues and then like about 15 seconds later the person that hits the bad guy goes, wait, hold on, I forgot about sneak attack.
Oh, my
Let's
radiant
go back.
damage.
I forgot about
I forgot to smite.
I forgot to
Exactly.
smite. And then it like goes reverse and it turns out that they killed him 15 seconds ago.
Or no, they go and they get the killing blow, but then all of a sudden, oh wait, someone comes in and speaks directly into the audience. Oh wait, this guy actually had a resistance to that type of damage, so he's actually alive. So he just springs back up to life.
I forgot. I'm resistant to poison.
That movie is gonna be like, I hear people like wanting to boycott it over this OGL stuff that's come out recently, and I don't know like how I feel about that, honestly.
I don't think that one thing really matters to the other. I'm not gonna lie. Like the way that like studio structures work, like I can't. I don't want to talk about OGL shit anymore.
Well, no,
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
not the OGL, but like you have movie experience. You're
I know,
in
but
the industry.
it's adjacently related. Like I don't want to talk about it. I'm done. I'm done.
My main question for you is like, so like how, they're pretty disconnected, right?
I don't know. I can do some research and find out. I might even like accidentally run into like a costumer that worked on it, and I can get some dirt. But like, but like, I just think that like, first of all, I don't think this movie, even though like, even if there was a beef with Wizards right now, I don't think this movie was going to turn a profit. That's my personal onion.
Like,
Every D&D group has got to start LARPing to that movie.
Oh, 100%. But I need to understand how difficult it is for a movie to turn a profit. A movie has to make at least double what it costs to make a profit. Because whenever they list their budget, double it, and that's what they actually spent, because however much you spent on the actual production, you have to more or less spend exactly that much for marketing, yes. And they haven't, maybe once we get closer to the release, they'll get a little bit more aggressive with the marketing, but like up until now, it was like,
it's pretty quiet.
There was that stuff at Comic-Con. There was that stuff at Comic-Con last summer. They'll probably just do some more stuff at Comic-Con this year. There was like around like when the trailer came out, there was a bunch of like interviews and stuff, but they didn't get pushed super aggressively, because I feel like even on my algorithm I didn't get a lot of it, and like my algo pushes a lot of D&D stuff at me, so like like I don't know, they could like, so I don't know how much they spent on their budgeting for marketing. But yeah, between like what they actually spent marketing and then returning to investors, I don't think this movie's gonna turn a profit either way. So like, unless like, and then like, especially if there is any amount of people who are like, no, I'm gonna boycott it, and then they're gonna pirate it. Like, yeah, they're not okay. You're gonna boycott it. All right. Do whatever you want. I'm still gonna watch it. I don't care.
Cancel
me.
That's the whole thing of just like, I'll probably watch it, but probably also not opening weekend. Like the initial trailer, like it looked fine, but it's not like I'm gonna go out of my way to watch this. It looks okay. If it comes on streaming, sure, I'll watch it. If it's in the theater and it's like a weekend and it's a matinee, I might go out and watch it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna forget.
Exactly.
But that's a me problem.
No, like you mentioned, like after those trailers dropped, like I haven't seen anything about this movie.
Yeah.
The most I've heard about is people like saying, "Hey, I'm going to boycott it." No like ads or anything for it.
Right. It's word of mouth that you're hearing about it, not so much
Negative word of mouth.
Right.
Yeah, I'm only seeing stuff through like Reddit threads about D&D shit.
Pretty much, yeah. And like half of it is like do what you want, and half of it's like boycott, and then there's another contingent of just like I wasn't going to see this movie anyway. It looks like shit. Which I don't wholly agree with. It just looks kind of middle of the road.
Like that's the other that's like the other reason why I think like it's not really okay. You're not really hurting anybody's pockets that wasn't going to be hurting anyways. You know,
exactly.
It's just whatever. I don't care what people do anymore. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, what I do want to talk about is Brandon. Hi. Hello. Hi.
What's up? Sorry, I fell asleep for a minute.
That's fine. I wish I could have. Yeah. God, what are we?
I'm so glad you asked.
Take it. Just take it and go.
Are you a nerd? It sounds like you might be a nerd. Why are you a nerd? What happened to you? Who did this to you?
Who did this to you?
Oh man, years of trauma.
It's about trauma. Nice.
Started in middle school.
God, no, you started middle school? Lucky. First off, I had terrible parents. No.
Hey, about your parents. Your parents are nice.
They're wonderful people. I'm sure. Are they listening? They're great. But I don't know. I mean, I'm a huge board game and anime nerd, so like that's where my particular genre is, and D&D kind of wraps up into that board game world with the whole tabletop thing. I feel like that Venn diagram of people who play board games and people who play D&D is a circle. So that's kind of how I got into it. I mean, I've had so many groups, but I think one of my earliest consistent groups was when Varun was DMing for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would like go to your house and play with. I don't know. Did Avatar ever play with us, or was it just your sister? Am I doxing? I don't think I mentioned names.
No, it's fine. But I know Juhi did. I don't know if he ever did with us. I think he probably did once or twice.
Yeah, I think it was often, but I do remember playing like the twin sibling.
Yeah, you and my sister were just like immediately brother sister. That's who we
Full
are.
Valley girl, it was the best.
You wanted to make just like you wanted to make being a homeless person like an art installation.
I had repressed that.
You were both like monks, right? So like you're supposed to be like inner peace, like martial arts, and both of you were just like the worst people.
Sometimes self-care is being the worst.
Incredibly materialistic. My sister was just like, no, I'm not dealing with any of this. And then you were just like, how much of this money can we steal?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah, that's. I've known
no
some very quote unquote
D&D movie.
Yeah, right. Like I've known a lot of quote unquote Zen people who are like that.
It's very hard to play like an actual monk in D&D.
I mean, yeah. In the game that I'm in with friend of the pod Austin, we have a pacifist ranger. Where's she?
Okay.
She's either a ranger or a rogue, and I feel terrible for forgetting.
If she's a rogue, she picked the wrong area to be a pacifist in.
Yeah, a little bit. But it makes for some funny funny moments. Oh yeah, she's a rogue.
So she just never uses sneak attack.
Oh, no, she does. It's just that she insists that any time that she does, like, attack something, it's non-lethal.
Okay, that type of pacifist.
Stab them
Yes.
non-lethally.
Yeah.
Stab in half non-lethally.
It's the Batman pacifist.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Where it's
beat you within an inch of your life.
I'm not gonna kill you, but the bomb that I put in your car is gonna kill you.
But the
Like
fall
that
is gonna
firing
kill you.
Rubber bullets.
Right, like, what? I'm gonna push you off this cliff, and whatever happens at the bottom, that's not my fault.
Whatever happens, man.
Right. And, like, it's great, because she is actually the conscience of our group, and, like, she does actually try to, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, keep us in line, but the rest of the party is just a little too unhinged. We're a little too feral, and, like, we've started corrupting her. It's
Oh boy.
Oh, it's so good.
So, Brandon, what do you remember about those first games that we played? Because that was me just starting out as a DM, and I'm just like, yo, everyone I know, do you want to play some D&D? or whatever it was, Pathfinder, whatever we were playing at that point.
I think it was D&D.
I think it was D&D at that point.
I remember that we were like something of the Golden Fist
Yeah.
or something. We built like a large sculpture of a gold hand.
Just cuz. I don't think there was
Just
any reason for it.
No, really, there wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember me and your sister bickering the whole time.
That
We were like siblings that would yell at each other.
But if anyone like got on you, you'd be like, no. This is our thing.
Oh, I love that dynamic so much. That's so good.
And then that was basically us doing like it's semi-connected, just like one-offs, just like having fun. I don't think there's any
it was
big
like-
campaign
it was
or
like
anything going on.
guild-based.
Yeah,
It had sort of a loose overarching, like,
yeah,
a series of one-shots, essentially.
yeah. So after that, you moved away. You moved north.
Up to the frosty north of Central Florida.
Not the frosty north.
The wildlands,
It gets
the no
all the way
man's
down to,
land of
like-
Central Florida.
The southern part of Florida. The
The
northern
frigid
part of
40-degree winters.
Ugh. Which, is freezing by Florida
wait.
temperature.
Out here in LA, my friends and I had gone out. We'd gone, like, club hopping, and on, like, the rare occasion where we go out. And this one night we were, like, leaving the place. We were about to go home. We're waiting for the Uber. I am inebriated, obviously. I leave the establishment. I stand on the sidewalk. And I turn, walk down a little bit down the sidewalk. There's a bunch of people waiting outside. They're all, smoking cigarettes, waiting for their Ubers, whatever. And I hear a guy go, something, Tallahassee. And I go, hella nasty. What the fuck are you talking about? And me alone, none of my friends around, just strike up a conversation with this random man about Florida. And now that I think about it, I am an idiot.
Yeah, what could go wrong talking
What
to
could
a
go
stranger
wrong?
alone from Florida?
From Florida. Oh, man. Also, like, how unhinged is it to be in Los Angeles and speaking loudly about how, like, you wish you could just find a, just a normal, non-crazy girl.
Oh, boy.
That isn't, like, he was like, I have no problem, like, I'm an ally, whatever, but, like, I'm just trying to find, like, a single, like, normal straight girl in this city, and I'm like, oh,
God.
you're in the
wrong city,
place,
sir.
bud.
Right. I'm not
Like-
racist, but
Like, you're in Silver Lake looking for a normal, like, wifey type?
Yeah.
No, the best you're gonna get is a chaotic bisexual with green hair who does not know how to cook and will cry if you ask him to wash the dishes. That's the most I can offer.
That's the best deal you're getting.
Yeah. Like, you want a brand new car, the best I can get you is a 2006 Corolla
with green hair.
with green hair.
Oh Jesus! All right. So you've been haunting the moors of Orlando.
Haunting is accurate. I've been dead inside for years.
So how has your gaming life progressed since then? Because I don't think we've played since.
No, gaming life. I mean, I have a strong local crew. We do mostly board games, not so much D&D. My D&D has taken on an online life, which I feel like a lot of people have since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's mostly I've met up with my crew that I record our podcast with, and it's just like our merry little cast of queers getting together to laugh and play games, and it's a good time.
How did that come about? Like, who was the one who was just like, hey, I want to do a podcast?
Well, I actually came into it late. The DM, Chris, he had started this, oh gosh, probably 2 years before I joined, with two of his friends. And they were doing their own thing for a little bit. And it wasn't like huge, it was like a little thing. And eventually they kind of reached out to expand their crew and try and become more of like a podcast with, like, you know, the Knackle Boys and Dimension 20 and everything becoming popular. So I was recruited off of, gosh, I think it was Reddit. It was like a creepy ass thread on Reddit where I was like, okay, how did this go wrong?
Do you want to be on my podcast?
Hey, I want to record you. So I wound up joining it on some demo game.
Some pictures.
It was so, yeah. Honestly, looking back, a little sketch, but it turned out great. I mean, we have a great time. We're all really close now, and we've been doing it for a couple of years. We just started a new campaign, actually. So,
ooh,
you know, any listeners out there, now's a great time to start.
Hey.
Cool. So,
hey, listen, sketchy decisions is a great way to make friends. That's how I met Varun's partner Nova, and through Nova met Varun.
Yeah, that's why you're listening to this right now. Just sketchy decisions after sketchy decision.
If you really want to play tabletop games, just find a stranger on the internet and let them get in your car and go to an anime convention together.
Your virtual car.
No, this is legit.
Oh, Nova and I were mutuals on Tumblr for like a year or two, and then like I think it was like Miami SuperCon.
SuperCon, it must have been.
It was SuperCon, and I was like, I want to go, and Nova was saying they needed to go, and I like messaged them, and I was like, do you need a ride? And that's the first time we met in person, was me picking Nova up for us to go to SuperCon together.
And then the ball started rolling down the hill.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's ready to destroy the town.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned chaotic bisexual before. That like brought up, our DM has the most chaotic bisexual energy I've ever seen in one human being.
Love to see
that just kind of, if you could imagine that person leading a D&D session.
Lisa,
Why is the gun pointed at me again? What the fuck? I come here to my own establishment and I get attacked.
To my own podcast.
Get it? Oh, wow. I'm getting sniped on my own podcast. I can't believe it.
Okay.
But what do you mean when you say that? Because I feel like everybody has like slightly, like, what do you mean by chaotic bisexual energy? Because I feel like everybody has like a little bit of a different definition of that. Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh, goodness. One of the enemies that we fought was a reskinned homunculus, but they were a large banana. And they would banana cream out of their banussi. So, you know, that kind of energy.
All right, it's one of these.
Yes. All right, great. One of mine. Love
so that brings me back around. The question I wanted to ask, of just like, okay, you just finished the campaign. What was it about? Sounds like it was insane.
We had talked a little bit before the recording about Dimension 20 and how they had like a Candyland sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had a session that was based half in kind of a realistic human world and one half in a fairy realm, like a fae realm that was reskinned as a fairy world kind of Candyland situation. And my character was a multi-class fighter and warlock, but like the class was split down the middle. Literally, they were half human, half gingerbread person.
Okay.
So like, it was us trying to figure out what was going wrong, why the two worlds were colliding, and make our way back and forth to help calm the universe.
Was anybody else in the party also half candy?
No. One person was our lovely Katie, was a werewolf little girl that would Red Riding Hood turn into a werewolf.
Love that.
She was great. Whenever she was a barbarian, and whenever she raged, she would turn into a werewolf.
Cool.
Wait. Oh my god, Emily Oxford owes you money. Because that's on the newest season of Dimension 20. That is exactly the character that she plays.
Oh my god,
Little
really?
Red Riding Hood. Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood barbarian druid. That like, yeah, she basically
polymorph rage.
She can't like. It's this whole like. Anyways, yes, she's a wolf.
I didn't know she was
she's
a
little
listener.
werewolf.
Emily, what the fuck?
No, but I love it when that happens because it just means that like, okay, no, this idea is so good that like multiple people are having the same sort of thought. I don't know.
Right,
That feels
like
kind
how
of
every D&D campaign has done like a school setting.
Yeah,
I don't think I have.
yet.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the McElroys have done it. Dimension 20 started out with it, I think.
Yeah, Fantasy High. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually run a game that involved like purely adolescence or like a school setting. It's all been like, yeah, you're adventurers, you're out on the road, you're grown-ass adults, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it also just depends on like how influential certain Wizard School series were on you.
Who's pre-ordered Hogwarts Legacy? Who's
No hands.
supporting
No
this?
one.
Okay, great.
No commotion from the room, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Love to hear it, or love to not hear it, I guess.
the silence is comforting, yes. But yeah, no, I love a I mean, I hate that the genre is kind of tainted in that way, because like I love a Wizard School moment.
It existed before Harry Potter.
I know.
It'll exist after Harry Potter.
I know, but it's the anyways, not the point. Point is, that sounds like fun. It sounds like you guys do like different like campaigns and like smaller arcs and stuff like that. Like, what's the type of character that you end up like playing a lot, and like what's the type of character that like you haven't played yet?
Oh, I always gravitate towards a caster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Varun knows this too. Aside from that,
You tried to be a necromancer, just like session 1. You tried to
Oh my
immediately start bringing the dead back to life, and it
yeah,
worked out so poorly.
I did. We used them as backpacks. They would like pick up stuff and transport. It was great.
Yeah.
I used a javelin to reattach the head to the body.
Just really graphic with it.
Yeah, it was real gross. You took away my powers because I was being weird.
You're like a cleric of like some good god, and then
I was a
you
cleric.
you just like start desecrating corpses.
We homebrewed it to be like cleric of life and death, or like light and dark or something.
Something like that.
You were not very receptive to it.
I'm just like, oh, this is the type of game we were looking at. Oh shit.
Yeah. Lost contact with my deity almost immediately.
It's like the one time where alignment actually becomes relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, doesn't like me just like puppet mastering these corpses? Oh man.
That guy sucks anyway.
Yeah. I'll find a new god. I'll find a new god. Blackjack.
What? Are
Hookers.
we not allowed to have fun here?
Oh, this was American.
I thought this was America.
So what is your like go-to story for that first campaign?
Oh gosh. Okay. There was a world already built up, and God bless our DM. He really tried to make a whole world before we started.
Oh no.
Oh,
which always works out well. It's
Oh
every
no.
team.
Yeah.
And he kind of told us to stay away from a certain area because it was more of a higher level area. And
so what do you do
Exactly.
immediately?
Exactly.
Is you go to that area.
Beeline it.
First place we go to. And it turned out that there was an ancient black dragon living in one of the caves there.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And we were like level 6 or something.
Yeah, it could kill you by basically looking at you.
Right. So immediately someone dies. And we like dimension door the corpse out of there. And the other two just book it. And they brought it back to life, and we eventually came back and found this dragon, and they remembered us from the earlier in the session, and it was just the whole time it kept coming up of like, oh, what, and maybe there's some things we shouldn't do, guys. Maybe we shouldn't try and burn down this place. Maybe
our actions have consequences.
Was that the moment you learned? Yeah, actions have consequences.
Exactly.
There are repercussions. Oh shit. Well, did you guys save the candy world or whatever it was by the end?
We eventually figured out what was going on, and the ending was a little up to interpretation. There was kind of a twist involving a wish spell that no one was expecting. And things got... there was a post-campaign episode that we tried to gather our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked how it ended, but it was not how kind of I expected it to go.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes, especially when you've got that reality-altering MacGuffin or whatever it is, because then things usually get kind of weird.
Right, especially when we're running around trying not to be murder hobos with this 12-year-old girl werewolf who's like, "Hey, I'm 12. Can we not do very creepy things?"
I love a child in a party because it allows
we have one.
Yeah, it allows for such an unpredictable whimsy because that's the player who makes the choice to be a kid is always the one who's gonna really be able to do that. Because I feel like, I don't know, I haven't seen people play kids who weren't confident that they could be exactly the kind of chaos gremlins that they need to be to play a kid.
Yeah. Like, it takes a special kind of, like you mentioned it before, Brandon, a certain kind of just like willingness to be nuts, just to be like crazy, just to be embarrassing, whatever it is, to play a kid properly.
Right. And I think it's up to the DM to like, you play along. You don't just say no to something. You know, if they want to do something obtuse and not necessarily the best way of going about things, you don't say no. You say like, well, you can try.
Yep.
Right.
That's the DM response of just like, I was not prepared for this.
Let him roll some dice, try and jot down some notes.
Yeah. Just roll some dice. That'll make you feel better. That'll make both of us feel better.
Our playstyle's not like the most rules intensive.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just roll some dice about it is the D&D, the like tabletop like roleplay equivalent of like, you seem really cranky. Have you drank any water?
Oh. I do love that though. I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's a game, right?
Right.
Everyone is there to have fun. If not having fun, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
highly agree with that. That is absolutely something that I scream about on here all the time.
That's one thing that, like, I think folks who it goes back to a weird mechanics thing that I think about of like crits in 5th edition. You just double the dice of all the stuff that you would normally roll for a crit, versus like Pathfinder or a lot of other systems where you have to do a lot of math to figure out what a crit is. I'm just like, you're missing the point whenever you do that, because like the benefit of when someone crits, like if a high level rogue or someone with a magic weapon crits, to just have a handful of dice They just have the handful of dice that they're able to roll. Just, ha! Look at them all!
Your inner dice goblin.
Yeah.
It validates that.
Everyone has one. And, like, when you're able to do that, it's not just like, oh, yeah, that may not have been the most efficient way to do a crit or whatever, but you know, it's the most fucking fun.
Yeah.
From just, like, a system, a mechanics perspective, I think they thought about, okay, what's easy to remember, but 2, what would be, like, fun? And everyone likes having that pile of dice.
Yes, I want to roll 8d8. What do you mean? Yes, I want to have to go around the table and go, okay, everybody,
give me your d6s.
Give me your
Why else
dice.
have I been buying all these dice sets? I think that's important, though. I mean, there's some rules that are important, like you can't cast multiple fireballs in a turn. I get that. It makes sense. But, like, there's a rule in the 5e player handbook that says elves can't grow facial hair. And they have very good body hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like,
What?
if a player comes up to you with an elf and wants them to have a full beard, okay, let's talk about it.
I mean, that's the same thing as, like, in the description for tieflings, they're described as being either red or normal
flesh
skin,
color.
or flesh,
Yeah.
or, like, normal skin tones.
Yeah.
But, like, no, I'm making that bitch purple. And
Right,
you can
what's
fight me
wrong
about
with
it.
that? And you could make
Elves
a story
have
element.
hair!
Not
On their
facial hair,
head,
though.
but not facial hair
They
or
can't grow
body hair.
beards.
Yeah.
What the what?
It's very
The-
strange to me.
It
The
doesn't make
infant-
any physical sense.
But it
The
can become like a story element.
infantilization. Yeah, the
Can elves-
infantilization of elves.
Right, that's fair. I think it's all a Tolkien thing.
Yeah.
Because
they
they're
have
supposed
to
be
look
these, like,
pretty
yeah.
perfect people all the time, and apparently
Yeah.
that's completely clean shaven all the time.
Pretty
Yeah,
people can have beards.
it really that's like one of those things where it's like there's a lot of these it kind of reminds me of like the early conversations that we used to have. Is like there are certain things that like we don't really like examine until like you
Yeah.
actually bring it up and you're like, okay, but yes, I understand that elves are supposed to be these like ethereal, beautiful, but who said that to be beautiful you have to be hairless?
Yeah. You
Like-
gotta
What
be a-
fucking twink wrote this book?
No.
I was about to say that.
See, if the twinks wrote it, the elves would be bears.
Okay, you know what? Fair.
Every dwarf would be a daddy.
As if they aren't already? What do you mean?
Okay, that's fair.
Like there's like a God, it's another like infamous like World Heritage Tumblr post where it's like this person basically saying that they had canon that like Gimli is for dwarves like a 10 out of 10 like and then like Legolas is like a 5 on
He's a
good day
5 by elf standards.
And so when they like go off together at the end, everybody's like, Gimli, please, like, why are you with this guy? And he goes, I know, but I love him. It's like they're Peter Griffin and Lois and but like
But Gimli is the lowest.
Yeah.
All right, and to your point, Brandon, yeah, like if someone comes with a bearded elf, like yeah, you can make that something that you can explore in the game. Like Lucas, who we've had on multiple times, he loves playing Kenkus, and his whole thing is like Kenkus can't speak; they can't speak normally. So and fly. They're bird people, but they can't speak and they can't fly properly. So he like his ideal quest would be like he wants to find a way to like fly and speak, and yeah, that just plays with like your expectations of these races or these tropes and all this shit.
Absolutely. Incorporate that. If your elf has a beard, what is that normal for elves in this world? Is it magic? Were you cursed? Is it a mystery? Is it part of your backstory? I don't know.
Cursed to have a beard.
Yeah. I mean, like, there are those, like... Because there are rules in, like, the player's handbook and in the DM's guide. And then there are things that I consider aesthetic suggestions. And that's one of them, where it's like, okay, that doesn't affect anything, so I'm gonna I'm gonna have them be like normal mammalian things.
Yeah.
And have body hair. Y'all are weird. Whoever wrote
Not
that,
everything needs
you're
to
kind of a
appease the
weirdo.
ghost
El-
of Pontiacs.
Elves evolved in a way that everyone who had a beard just never made it with anyone. Elf society was all clean shaven.
There is a subset of incels in elven society who are convinced that because they have beards, they will never be able to fuck.
Incels.
Incels!
You're welcome. You can use that in your campaigns. Enjoy.
The
You're
incels.
welcome.
Oh.
Yeah, where
Just the worst faction.
Yeah, where it's like, okay, you think that's why nobody wants to? No, it's because you're annoying.
I have my +1 fedora. It's a negative to charisma.
The -1 fedora. It's the cursed witch hat from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say like a cursed vest.
No, leave vests alone. Vests are fine.
Oh god.
It's the trilby. It's the trilby. Yeah, you're actually right with the stripy vest.
Yep.
Oh man.
They've been ruined. At least that combination has.
Yes.
Oh god. All right, Brandon. So you're starting up a new campaign now. So like, what's the deal? Is it still Candyland, or is it something completely new?
No, it's a huge departure. We actually put up like a poll in our Patreon, and we let them kind of decide the setting for the current campaign. And they wound up landing on like this sci-fi futuristic city. And the campaign that we're running, that Chris, our DM, has come up with, is that we are not exactly an A-list detective agency, but we're like a found family, and it's sort of a homebrewy world of mysteries to solve. It's almost like a guild-based series of one-shots with a loose thread connecting them all.
Okay. And this is still using 5th edition?
Yes, it is still using 5th edition. Even though there's like a lot of drama going on with Wizards right now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this before, just like, it is ethically okay to use the mechanics of 5th edition. Like, it's a good system. You can just not, pay for a Wizards book or whatever, and not pay for D&D Beyond anymore. That's also fine.
I also don't super understand it. From what I was reading, I thought it was like it only affects people who are making over $750,000 a year.
Boy, we have a whole episode on it. Just listen to that.
Okay.
It's like, I think it's literally the one that came out last week.
Yeah.
So if you want to skip ahead, which is something, I think we mentioned. Like, I can skip around the podcast just fine. Lisa, your mind will explode if you skip episodes. Yes.
Well, okay. I feel like I need to make it another. I was definitely being like over dramatic. Like, if there's a storyline, then I have to go in order. But if it's like if it's one of these where it's just like every episode just kind of a talkie, like, no, I can jump around.
If it's a storyline episode, I could still jump. Like, I do that with Critical Role and all these other ones all the time. Whenever people send me stuff,
no, that's weird.
I just go listen to like whatever episode it is. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, because you're not invested in the story. You're there for like that one scene that whoever sent.
I want to see how they're running the game. Yeah, right. I want to see like, oh, okay, this is how he's portraying this dust of deliciousness. Oh shit, that's cool. All right, moving on.
That's the allotted minute and a half of Critical Role mention. No.
Reset the timer. Yeah, I was surprised. When you guys invited me here, I thought it was like a Critical Role deep dive fan.
That was one time. Okay,
if Lisa was in charge,
that was
every episode. You guys had a two-parter on the show, didn't you?
That was the.
It was like 3 episodes.
That was actually like the 2 times. Okay, I mean it depends if you count the Mercer.
Yep, we talked about Mercer.
It's the Mercer and the Vox Machina episodes. That's it. Like, listen,
We're gonna have another one.
Okay.
The first
Wait,
3
hang on, here it
episodes of
goes.
the second season of Vox Machina just came out. I've watched it twice already.
I didn't know.
haven't even
Oh
mentioned
shit!
it. I haven't even mentioned it.
I was
All
thinking
right.
of mentioning it. I thought it hadn't come out yet. Oh,
Yeah, the first 3 episodes came out, and also there was an announcement that they're gonna do
the Mighty Nine show.
the Mighty Nine show.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be so sick.
So you're just eating good for the next couple of years.
No. Yes, all my babies. The Blorbos from my show that are from my other show.
I do appreciate the restraint, but dear God, look at what happens when the muzzles just falls a little bit.
Anyways, I said nothing. What are you talking about?
You're being slightly perceived, Lisa.
No, stop looking at me. Look at Brandon. What is Brandon doing over there?
Yeah, I and for your because you haven't caught up, Brandon, but like I used to watch a lot of Let's Play stuff, or actual play stuff, but like I don't know, I just after a while I dropped off. Critical Role and all those stuff, just like it was fine, but it never like super captured me.
Critical Role's a rough one. There's
There's
no
just a
editing.
lot of
Every
it.
episode's 3 hours long.
Yes.
And then yeah, I haven't tried a whole lot of Dimension 20 or whatever. I don't know, maybe because you say they're edited, Lisa, they might be
Yeah.
better choice.
But also,
But yeah.
I mean, you guys were talking about Mercer Effect. Dimension 20, when they did their Fantasy High, I think it was called,
Mm-hmm.
they were doing the YouTube videos, and they had full sets for every combat.
Mhm.
All the minis were custom. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've only gotten, because that was the first season of Dimension 20, they've only gotten, like, more production-y about it. Like, they're in
See,
this,
that's
like...
setting some unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, but I think it's, like, it's cartoonish. That, like, I think anybody watching should have the sense of mind of, like, I'm not gonna have a full set with like LED panels behind us that I can project spiders on during the spider fight, like, and like a sound system that I can play screams through, and like you mentioned that you watched some of it, some of the Court of Fae and Flowers one.
Yeah, I haven't finished it.
Yeah, where it's like, I think Abria described when she was talking to their set designer, or their art director, of just like you essentially have to plan a wedding with just the amount of florals of like floral arrangements that they had to do for the set, and like every episode they're in there, they're like down to like the players aren't even just wearing whatever clothes they were wearing off the street. Like they have like a wardrobe department and makeup and hair.
God.
Like they have a full hair and makeup and wardrobe department. Like,
damn,
it's like a production. It is theater. Like I can't stress this enough to the listeners and the viewers and the consumers who are players, and yeah, just like that's theater. Watch it as it's a low budget, high budget TV show. Like it's not what your tabletop experience is going to be unless you have an insane DM.
Clinically, like diagnosed.
Yeah, like if you walk into your friend's house with your dice and your notebook and your bag of chips and your guac, and you see a full you see all that going on.
You see torches.
Call the police.
You like don't call the police because they don't know how to handle a mental health crisis, but like sit them down, have a conversation. Do you?
Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down.
Like, are you okay? How much hot glue have you gone through this week?
You're at a 10. I need you to be at a 5.
When's the last time you saw the sunlight? How, like, the paint fumes? Okay, I see you have your spray gun out. Did you do that outside?
Did you open any windows?
Yeah. Like, I don't see a respirator around. Like,
Did you wear a mask?
Like, okay, you got a shop vac? Okay, at least you have a shop vac.
Have you slept?
Not in 42 hours, though.
Oh my god.
My problem is that, like, if I had the time, that would be me. I'd be that guy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's like one of the reasons where, like, in the move, at some point I lost my hot glue gun, and I have very purposefully not bought another one because I know who I am as a person, where if I have a hot glue gun in the house, I'm using it at any given opportunity, and I will make up opportunities for me to use a hot glue gun.
Oh, it's dangerous. I mean, I did a lot of model making in college because I was an architecture major. So, like, I got the foam cutters, I got the X-Acto blades of the hot glue gun. We could make a set. Don't you worry. I'm not going to quit my job first.
I was going to say, Lisa, costume. Brandon, you got the sets.
Oh,
all right.
God. Okay,
hey,
let's
I'll cast it.
We're almost there. We just, like...
We'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Let's buy tickets to Utah.
Oh my god, no, we could go to that shitty Evermore Park.
Oh, yeah. You watched Jenny Nicholson?
Yes!
Yeah!
I did watch that whole, like, 3-hour video.
I love
a 3-hour video.
I love, that it's just this kind of, like, shitty place that they had so many plans for, and they just kept... It's still alive. It's, like, still going, right?
It was gonna be so good.
Yeah.
In someone's mind, it was.
I remember hearing about it before it was a thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It sounded really great on paper.
Yeah, I remember seeing the BuzzFeed video of it or whatever. But
oh yeah, she broke that down too. Where she was like, "Oh, this is not the experience."
This.
Yeah, no, it's great. But like, speaking of like DMs who go above and beyond, right? Like, friend of the pod, awesome Hemsha, like, the thing that's killed him the most about having to move to online for our main campaign is that, like, he, like, collects, like, off cuttings of wood and styrofoam and all sorts of stuff from his day job, and, like, he built some actually pretty sick modular sets for us, like like table sets, like battle maps for us, and, like, it makes me a little sad that he I can't enjoy those anymore.
When you have the DM that goes the extra mile, it's tough.
Yeah.
But it's a slippery slope. Once you buy a fog machine.
Once you're actually spending real money, that's where you gotta go, okay, what
am I doing here?
How much does this
I gotta write a story first.
How did I get here?
It's like, okay, I bought the fog machine, time to write a story in which I can make the fog machine relevant.
I have to justify this purchase.
Okay, so we're doing Curse of Strahd. Just a coincidence.
Curse of Strahd, exactly. Words out of my mouth. Beautiful. Yeah.
Next, Feywild.
Yeah, right.
Feywild, and that's where you can justify buying a bunch of LED lamps that change colors with an app on your phone.
Oh my god. Have you ever run a game, by the way, Brandon?
Yeah, I did. And I hit to sound like a shill by continuing to bring up our Patreon. I ran a game in our Patreon. It was a short campaign, like 6 or 7 episodes. But it was a fun chance to kind of take our DM into the player space. So that our poor forever DM could use some of those thousands of characters that you all make in your free time.
Yep, accurate.
But that was good. We got, like, it was a small experience for us to test the waters on all our other people. Like, we take turns switching out in the Patreon of who runs games to kind of... We also try different game styles, like Monster of the Week or The Witch is Dead. Just trying different, like, one-page style RPGs.
How was your experience of, like, actually having to run the game now?
It was fun. I mean, I learned that you don't plan too far ahead, girl.
Yep. Bullet points. Bullet points are your friend. Do not write a book.
Also, challenge ratings for fights is bullshit.
What level were you guys?
This is kind of on me because I gave them like a one freebie of, oh, you have this thing where you guys are level 20 for this specific fight. Right. So I let them all up their characters to level 20 for one fight that I had geared for a party of 4 level 20 characters. And it was literally destroyed with the first spell. There was one spell with like rain down fire onto my crew, and it just
so many new DM mistakes. Let me group up all the guys. Don't follow your CR after level 5. Then becomes kind of meaningless.
Really? I didn't know that was a thing.
Because CR is based on like essentially someone taking an action in combat. But after level 5, most melee classes get 2 attacks. Multiple attacks as they go up. So now the action...
that seems crazy.
Yeah, so now the action economy is completely changed. And now the players can hit a lot more than they used to be able to. And a lot more than a lot of mobs can. So now, yeah, players are going to start kicking ass a lot more after that. So yeah, challenge rating is kind of bullshit, especially like I said, once you get to level 5, once you deal with the extra actions, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, figured that out now. That's fun. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a little bit liberating because it does mean that you can just throw.
I was going to say they're level 20. You should have just gone nuts with them.
Yeah. So the worst thing you could possibly
throw a Tarask and a bunch of ancient dragons and like a couple liches and just have them go.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind for next time I run a level 20 fight.
Yeah. That happens so often. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fan of those like one-off higher level encounters just because it's so rare as a player to actually get your character up to that level where it's like, I just want to feel what it feels like to be level 17.
You guys are pretty strong. You're level...
concept in my mind.
You're level 12 in our current campaign, Lisa, so like you guys are pretty strong.
I would hope so. We've been playing for years. But like...
But I don't think that by the end of our campaign that we're going to get to, I think, higher than 15. But like... Let's see how that goes, but...
We'll see.
It's very rare to get to level 20, like, legit. Like, and feel like you earned it.
To cast a level 9 spell.
Come
on.
Yeah. No, I get it. Alright. So, I know we have to run. So I think the last thing we'll ask you, Brandon, very seasoned at this point. You've got a lot of experience all over the place under your belt. So what is your advice to new players, new DMs, anyone coming into the TTRPG space? Or maybe who might be hesitant and always be interested, but, never took that leap?
Oh my gosh. I think that the best advice I can give to somebody playing is don't be afraid to get goofy. Don't get afraid to use a voice. Don't be afraid to really inhabit your character, gesticulate. It adds to it. And the more comfortable you are, the more comfortable the people around you are. Okay, I'm going to go on a little soapbox here.
All right.
Yes.
D&D has a huge queer following. I'm sure all of you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it helps a lot in, like, self-discovery. Maybe a guy plays a female character and discovers that she, her pronouns make them feel more comfortable. Or, like, maybe you romance a character of the same gender because it's all right in the game, and you get butterflies. Just so many little baby gays find themselves through roleplay in D&D, and it kind of, like, lets you be who you are. So don't be afraid to kind of explore a character that might not be what you would typically go for. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a couple folks come on and Caitlin, Rachel, who've talked about, help using D&D to help them explore stuff just in their lives that they wanted to, work out or explore in a safe
But
way.
don't trauma dump.
Yes, don't trauma dump.
That's for your therapist, not for a D&D session.
D&D is not therapy.
Yeah, but it can.
Oh, and
be
also don't make a
therapeutic.
character that's like oh, I'm an edgy backstory. My parents are dead, and no one loves me.
Yeah, those characters are so hard to play with.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you'd wanna add? Anything about because anything about like queerness or anything like that within the D&D space? Because I know that's what you guys specialize in.
That's true. I guess the last note to add, if you enjoy queerness and D&D, is that you should check out our podcast, Roll Gay Roleplay, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you can find it. We have our website where we have like merch and our YouTube for gaming videos that have just started. Check out secret stuff on our Patreon for extra campaigns and stuff.
Hell yeah!
Oh shit! Right into the plug.
Yes. Didn't even- What a natural segue. That was beautiful.
God damn.
Bring
Yeah.
me your queers. You're tired. You're hungry.
You just turn into Harvey Firestein.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was beautifully put. I think with that, we're
Lisa, plugs! We have done no plugs the entire episode.
Yell at me!
He just did them!
Don't yell at me! Oh my god. Noel, baby, I'm so sorry for Varun screaming. Like, I would never do that to you.
Yeah, you'd never do that.
Oh, don't believe her. She was just talking shit before we started recording.
No, I have definitely screamed.
Directly into the mic,
Yep.
multiple times.
Oh, great.
Listen, it's fine. He knows to expect it at this point.
What?
But from
Chaotic.
Varun, come on, get it together.
You're just about to wrap up the episode. I'm like, perfect segue into our plugs.
Stop yelling at me. I'm gonna do it. You know what? Actually, you do it. I was gonna do it, but you yelled at me to do it. I'm not gonna do it anymore. You do
Ooh,
it.
yelled at me.
Fuck it. All right. So thanks for listening to this episode of Oops All Dragons. Get us on YouTube, get us on Spotify. Similar to these guys, we're on pretty much every platform at this point. We're pretty active on Twitter. I'm posting most stuff on our Instagram, and our Tumblr is
Hi.
alive, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Is there anything on it?
No.
You should subscribe to that just in anticipation of what Lisa's eventually going to put on there.
Gonna be a lot of Homestuck.
No.
No, you're opening up the can of worms here.
Oh no. Super
No,
Hulock.
I'm gonna.
Stop saying the words.
Oh no. That was the trigger.
And get us on our Patreon, patreon.com/oopsalldragons. We've already got some supporters there, and we'd love some more. Throw us a buck. It absolutely
God,
helps the
Brandon,
show.
That was, I think, the third time this episode where, like, I was about to say something and you said it before I could get to it.
Maybe we are drift
Crazy.
compatible.
Oh,
Maybe we-
you two, definitely.
Incredible. Wow. We'll have to circle back to that. All right. Goodbye.
I think that's an episode. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Oh my god. Oops All Dragons is a group effort. Our show is edited by Noel Hernandez, our theme was composed by Brendan Lyons, and our logo art is by Azif On Q. Links to more of their work and their social media will be in the show notes. Find us on YouTube and Spotify, and check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Oops All Dragons.